The Married to Medicine Part 2 of the reunion was the season 11, episode 17. All right, so the Damon rumors. Is he cheating or is he not? Or who heard it, who didn't? Contessa and Heavenly going back and forth. And I didn't want to apologize to Tag because I remember I was talking about the outfits. Well, I think my video didn't upload, but I have to re-upload it. But either way, my last video, I mentioned her dress because I said, well, something was wrong with the boobage area, and I was thinking, because she was bodybuilding, that maybe she worked something out too much or something didn't work right. But I forgot she had the double mastectomies. Yes. So yeah, I'm sorry about that, Contessa. Okay, I was cause yeah. And it took Heavenly to be calling him out to say, girl, you had a botch surgery, this and that, which I ain't gonna agree with. I just had forgotten. Okay. And I was then that's what Dr. Jackie was looking like, huh? Because as we know, Dr. Jackie had the same surgery as well. Okay. But she opted out to not have too much enhancement on her end. She just got a little, a little nub nubs. But either way, they're going back and forth. They're going back and forth. Oh, Jesus Christ. Andy breaks it up a little bit, asking Jackie, like, how she feels about these two ladies arguing back and forth. And of course, she's just, Dr. Jackie be sad. She was almost about to cry. Oh my God, because they used to be such good friends. And I just don't know why they just like that. I don't think they come back from this. So it is what it is. They ain't gonna be friends like they used to. It's broken. Simone explains pretty much what I've been saying and pretty much what everybody else been saying. Um, Heavenly seems to have gotten it, but it was like, listen, girl, Contessa talked to you. Whatever she said to you about her husband and her life as a friend, you're not supposed to go back and tell everybody else about it. Like, you're not supposed to do that. I thought we learned this probably in kindergarten or first grade. Like, you my friend, don't be in the sandbox telling them my business over there. Okay? Like. So of course Heavenly is saying, well, I got that. I already apologized and this and this and that. And even Andy had to bring it up again to say, like, you've been on here. How many seasons have you been here? 10 seasons. Oh yes, 10 seasons. This is 11 seasons. So you've been here pretty much the whole time. And everybody been saying this to you the same thing every year. Every year. The same thing, Heavenly. And you just ain't getting it. You ain't learned the lesson yet. And she like, of course, I mean, I hear y'all and this and that. And like I said, I already apologized and woo 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 woo. So do you want me to stop talking on YouTube? And Andy like, listen, you do what you want to look, because you ain't talking about me. Because right, what you get to talk about Andy, then listen, I'm gonna have to shut you down, child. But I ain't gonna do you nothing right now, because this is good for the show. Technically, it's good, free press and promotion. But yeah, don't go for the boss. You see what happened with Nene. Contessa doubles back from what Simone says, because and this is all her to try to explain the Heavenly as calmly and as explanatory as she can. And Heavenly just shut her down, like, girl, I already apologized to you. I ain't gonna listen to that. So they ain't gonna get nowhere. You can't. Don't be her friend. We ain't gonna be her friend. Jesus. It is Letitia's turn in the hot seat. Get her a little real about her season. It hasn't been the best. This is her second go around. The first go around, you're fresh, you're green. Um, I gave her a lot of grace just because it's your first time being on there. You got to get to know people. You got to try to build some friendships. And things like that, right? Get to know things before you jump into beefs. But unfortunately, they planted her here these ladies with their own personal agendas. So she didn't come here on her own accord, okay? Which means the agenda of getting to know the real her was never going to happen. And it never did happen. We never really got to know her for real, about her Texas life, her military life, because, she has I think she works or is she a housewife, but either way, like we can get, she's a twin, like, we can get more of her life that way. But because being married to Greg and then, his attachment to Quad, they brought you in here to fight. And that's something I think she wasn't really ready to do. Okay. So, and I think because this is their second season, the first one, okay, fine. This one, she's not prepared, all right, for the task that they had at hand for her. Because it's not what she wanted personally, okay? She got manipulated by these people, okay? Which is on her end. She could have synced it and, stopped it before it got this far, but she didn't, and she kept it going, okay? Um, her health update. So we know she got the the fibroid situation. They did do some IUIs already, which a couple of them have failed, which means she has to go back in again. And I think they were going to try, what did she say, the summer or this spring coming up. Okay, cool. It's good that they're still working on it. It is funny that Dr. Jackie or Simone are her doctor. Because as we know, Simone is Toya's doctor. I can't remember. Didn't everybody? Yeah, but either way. But they recommended her somewhere else, or something like that. I think they were supposed to recommend her somewhere else, so that's what I'm guessing. But either way, yeah, why not? Why they not helping her? So you see that's another issue, because I think the Andy point that out. You're not going to Dr. Jackie? Oh no, I'm at the Emory School. That's like their big medical school out there in Atlanta. But either way, the deadline that Greg had gave her that we saw, because remember he said something about, I give you 2 years, and we was, people watching it, right? We all was like, ooh, that don't sound too right, too good. He giving you 2 years. Y'all just got married, and you only on year 2. So we getting a divorce. I'm getting a divorce in 4 years or something. Like, not to say she can't have a baby in that time, but that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody, or just to say like, dang, you just gonna get rid of me if I can't drop my ex. So of course she felt some type of way about it. But she said what he meant was, if things didn't happen within those 2 years, I guess maybe naturally, then that they will go other routes, with the IVF, surrogates, blah, 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 right? Simone jumps in here, and I thought she was gonna give some type of like pregnancy medical advice about her and her fibroids and stuff like that, and how she can, do better to get pregnant, this and this and that. But no, Simone goes on this whole tirade about an old man being with the little baby, and the energy it takes to run around with the kids, and you don't want to be 80 years old with a graduate. Girl, we was talking about getting pregnant. Nobody talk about no old daddies and this and this and that. Because that's what Andy was sitting there looking like. Girl, I think I'm like 50, right? And I got 2 kids. And they little. Because Andy do got ain't they like 6 and 7 or something? Or is they younger than that? I can't remember. 5 and 6, 4. But he got them 2. Yeah, and he doing just all right. And hey, listen. I don't think Sweet Tea understood the question that Andy had just asked her, because she had that sweet and savory event It was like that dating thing, speed dating. Andy asked her, what's 3 essentials it takes to get an old man? And she said something about what we need is somebody to love on us, support us, care for us, and this and that little speech. And I mean, sure, I guess it answered the question, but not directly. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, did she hear the question? Because I had to rewind it. Like, did she? But okay, that's your answer. And here, Quad jumps in because she agrees with the attributes that she said that, a good man should have to treat a lady, right? Because you always want to be respectful and, all that good stuff, right? So this is her. She's being passive aggressive, okay, with this agreement because now she's naming off all these things, but looking at T to say, but that's not what Greg is, and that's not what you got, okay? So of course, Sweet Tea caught it, and that's how they're going back and forth again. Like, oh well, you kissing this and that, but you this and you ain't got. And Andy's like, okay, let's shift gears a little bit. Oh yeah, Quiet, you did hit her with that. I ain't gonna lie, Quiet hit her with that one. She said, "Girl, you was in the DMs trying to beg for somebody you are giving them a baby, but you look halfway barren, Lord." Okay, so Andy asked Letitia, how did she feel about going on that trip before they actually went on it, right? So of course she said she was open minded to it, but she knew that it was gonna be some mess. Like I think everybody knew, everybody was okay with it. They just knew it was just gonna be some mess, okay? So, and that was the whole point of they wanted to keep, at least let them keep their distance from each other. But I don't know who made the seating arrangement when it came to that game because y'all set them right behind each other. So I know if y'all set them across the way, then maybe it wouldn't have popped off that way. I don't know. Maybe, like, it probably would have popped off in a different way. Or we would have had a different argument, you know. Either way, Quad, Letitia goes on to say that, she knew it was going to be a little mess just on the fact that Quad was speaking on her, right? And, other ladies in the group and this and that. So it was kind of like it was already a stir up of the pot. So she just knew. And Quad jumps back in to say, like, girl, I be on your mind every day, like all day, every day. That's all you can talk about is me. It's all you think about is me and me. Because, Quad loves her some self. So, and of course, T's coming back at her. And she hit her with the, girl, you were alcoholic, you were drunk. And they like, what? Where'd that come from? You got 2 DUIs. And here I kind of cracked up just a little bit, because I know for a fact that I read on the blogs, because, everything be on the blogs, that she done got pulled over with the DUI. I heard it. Have y'all? I know somebody else did. If y'all pay attention, because I don't pay attention as much, but sometimes I see some stuff. So but I saw it, and it was like she refused to do the breathalyzer test and all that stuff. Remember? Yeah, but they never went back into it to give us like a whole big old information. Because I mean, Quad Web, it's not like you ain't the grind down, so you ain't gonna make no TMZ. But had you did, girl, we was gonna know it. So of course, Quiet is like, oh, don't be putting that business out there. You don't even know this and this and that is not true. And she's like, yes, that is true. And you do have a problem with alcohol, and you was drunk on the trip. So obviously, yeah, you was drunk. Yeah. But I mean, she can explain that. I was on vacation, and I was I was stressed out or something. I don't know. I was having fun. But either way, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And this how Greg got brought up in it, because you shouldn't be with a man that tell you to shut the F up and this and that. And T was like, well, he didn't say that. He said, you need to shut your effing mouth. So that's two different things, which is true. So we go into this whole thing about how, I can't remember the exact question, but it was something to the fact about how Quad be boasting about King so much. Like, oh, he's so great. And this is just the best man I ever had. And, you know how she be talking, right? But I guess it just belittles Greg the way she does it, right? Which is true, because she's doing it on purpose. Like, she's doing this all on purpose, which is true, because we're going to get to that at the end. We're going to get that to the end. I'm glad they put this on the flow. See, that's what the reunions is for. It's for truth. It's for coming to the light. Because y'all be scared to talk any other time. So we got to be truthful now. Okay? We'll get there. We'll get there. Because we got to get through the husbands first. Heavenly goes on to try to talk about Dr. G, belittle him just a little bit, to say, yeah, he ain't respectful and this and that. And he ain't respected in the community. In the doctor's community. That was that big tweet that she put out. That's the one that Greg got the issue with. Okay? If that is the only thing that he got the issue with. Okay? Because we come for his job. I gotta go to work. How am I supposed to go to work if you got people thinking that I'm this, and that? Okay? So that part, he can honestly sue her. Did he ever say that? Did anybody ever say that to her? Like, I could take this to court. Since he really want to go to court for something, don't take King to court. Take Heavenly to court for that tweet. Heavenly does apologize, and I'm thinking she's apologizing to Sweet Tea, because Greg ain't out here, because it should really go to him, not to her. So I'm not sure why Andy would kind of make her would bring that up here to, you know what I'm saying? But either way, because I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to apologize to Greg about that, not to Sweet Tea. But Jackie been sitting there quiet this whole dang time. Which we do get to Dr. Jackie at some point. Let me get to Dr. Jackie at some point. I don't know. At some point. But either way. So how does Dr. Jackie feel about her friend coming at, was it Sweet Tea for the fertility comments? Or, Jesus. Heavenly making those fertility comments about Sweet Tea. About somebody, okay, she said it was talking about her own deceased mother, not Contessa's mom, and all that other stuff about, well, that they can have a baby faster than Tisha can. Okay. And we all know Dr. Jackie, she's she's barren. We could say that, right? And with her struggles, so, and she's always been an advocate for her and this and that, but she's just been real quiet. And like she said, she just didn't want to get in it. Honestly, I don't want to be in it, so I just want to be quiet. I ain't even here. I'm here to talk about medicine. Everything else them ladies got going on, please don't ask me nothing. So Andy asks Heavenly about being too hard on Sweet Tea this whole season, this and that. So how does she feel about her now? Heavenly, Jesus, lady, she just says, "Listen, I respect that she is here. That I can say that she showed up today, because some people didn't." Talking about Phaedra, okay, which is cool. T accepts it, because if anything, that probably I believed it. If anything, I believe Heavenly when she said that. Ooh, Dr. Mimi comes out, and she had on this nice little blue dress. Hers was kind of, I guess, maybe her and Quad went to the same store. I will say, similarity wise. Pretty sure. I mean, I don't know. I say wasn't bad, I guess. So Quad and Mimi are actually good friends now. They've been hanging out. Um, Jackie, did she meet her first or something? But obviously, when she met her, she told her that she wanted her to meet her friends, like for sure. So it was like, who was the first friend that she wanted you to meet? Obviously, Heavenly, because she got the most issues going around here in this group. Well, just issues, period, with herself. To be honest, that's if we break it down, she got it's all inside with her family, her mama, her sisters. Anywho, um, Heavenly likes Mimi. They've been working together behind the scenes, which that sounds like a good thing, okay? Until it's not, because I can see her cussing her out for some reason, trying to say that, listen, you might need to read this pamphlet to help you with this. And then she's going to go off and say, girl, I don't need this and this and that. But either way, um, she explains how, because she's friends with Letitia, right? Right? So she, I guess on Letitia's behalf, just saying how difficult it is for, them being married for that first year and especially doing it on the camera. So technically they're not even getting to enjoy their own marriage because they dealing with the show. You see? So they're missing out on that part, just like how we missed out on getting to know Sweet Tea the right way because she was thrust into a beef unbeknownst to her. Right. So the fallout at the trip. Mimi's advice was that, because I think they were trying to blame Sweet Tea a lot for the fight between Greg and King, and it really was not Sweet Tea's fault at all. It was Quad's fault, okay? So them trying to make her take accountability for this and this and that. The reason why she wasn't because she didn't start it. Like I didn't. She sat there quiet the whole time until Quad turned around and said, "Ooh, I'm gonna throw you a baby shower." Ooh, yes, huh? Yes, I am. Cute little baby. Mm-hmm. We need to rewind the tape. Okay, so that's when she spoke up, and then Greg spoke, and that's how it got ripple from there. But she says the ladies could have handled it better, which is true. They definitely could have. Um, but like I said, the agenda to destroy Quad. I don't. Is that the agenda to destroy Quad? It just didn't work like they wanted it to. Okay. So does Mimi fit in with the group? I say I don't even know yet. Sure, she only got her like a couple episodes. They didn't give her to us from the start, so it's kind of hard to see where she actually fits. Toya said, "Oh, she fits just perfect. This and that, and everything that she was describing was everything that she was supposed to be T or that look or T was not. So I hopefully she caught which I'm sure she did because she was listening. She was nine, but Toya, like I don't, like I'm not liking the way that she done flipped and flopped on her like this. I understand how T uh flipped on you, should we say? But can you see why she did? Cause I still I believe her for that y'all tried to make her, y'all set her up basically this whole thing this whole time was a setup because y'all was trying to get Quad out. So what was the best way to do it was to use Gregory and T, which this is gonna be long because I still got like some 2 pages. That's why I hate reunions sometimes because they get a little lengthy. Hopefully not as long as my Salt Lake City #3, because woo child, them ladies was talking and there was a whole bunch going on. But this episode, because we got the husbands, right? And I didn't even get to the husbands yet. But Dr. Jackie, meeting the vice president, ooh, that was so great. And that was pretty much all Dr. Jackie did the whole season. So we're just gonna spend this little segment with her giving a little speech about women's empowerment and women's rights, and we got to do what we got to do. Especially with what Mr. Orange Man president trying to do. He trying to take everything away. He gonna take our boobs away in a minute. Hey, if he want them, he can have them. Mother-in-law Stitch. I didn't need one. I don't need one. Contessa Botox, because they do Botox at their clinic. Scott might have tried it. Andy said he tried it. Okay. Mimi, since you are a psychiatrist, can you diagnose these ladies? Well, no, I can't diagnose, but I can give like a little observation. Okay. So, okay. Jackie is intentional, corrective, and ooh, I don't even know what I wrote down for that word, but intentional and corrective. Quad. Quad got grief. Grief it out, child. Toya, you got this. You got this, girl. Letitia, you need to let us know how to support you, okay? Because we just don't know. Heavenly, you might need to open up to your inner child, okay? Nurture her. Because like I said, that's Heavenly problems. She got problems with her. It's in her head. Her mama, her sister, her family. It's her. Simone, you just got to be a little bit less rigid, okay? Calm down, loosen up a little bit. Jesus. Contessa, just don't be so distracted, You got the energy, you know where you're supposed to put it. Okay. Nice, cool, cool, cool. We're gonna take a break right here. We're gonna switch it out. Boo, woo, woo. So we're gonna get rid of the ladies and bring out the fellas. First time that King and Greg have seen each other since the trip. It's obvious that he dropped the charges because I think had he not, they wouldn't be here in the room together, or the charge is still pending. I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that they dropped it so that they could be together like this. But the show did take pre precautions because they put Gregory in a room by himself while he got dressed and things like that, and waited until it was time for him to go on stage with all the other fellas. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I know he felt a little type of way about that. Like, dang, what they think I was gonna like fight the man, or he was gonna fight me or something? Like, I don't know. But that's what you get for being a cop caller. So pretty much Gregory starts it off just to say that, I mean, he only heard positive things about King at this point. So for him, it was just, why did he pop off the way he popped off? That's pretty much all he wanted to know. I guess King on his end was just saying that, he's not against Greg or anything. He just feels that Greg was just too quick to accuse, without um but what now that I see it, how can you say he was really accusive or accusatory, but you were the one? I don't know. I feel like he flipped that around on him for some reason now that I think about it. But either way, he just feels that Greg just didn't have no accountability for anything. So we switched gears a little bit. We talked to Eugene about his business. How is business going? Are they going to add Botox to the business? Because that's something that Latoya wanted to do. And he's like, excuse me. He was thinking about the Botox stuff. It's something that Latoya wanted him to do. Or Toya. Is her name Latoya? Either way. Something that Toya wanted him to do. So he's thinking about it. It's just a lot of stuff that goes into it. This and this and that. Steve, he's an ex-football player. How does his friends feel about him being on the show? He said, hey, they cool with it. They room for him. A couple of them seen it. Maybe a couple of little wives seen it. Of course the wives have seen it. And he's not the first football player to be on the show. So I mean, he might be the first football player that don't nobody know. It's like, no, I'm just playing. I'm just playing, guys. Cause did we know? I didn't know Ed was a football player. And Ed, I'm bringing it all the way back to Lisa Wu. Oh wait, Deshaun Snow and her man. Yeah, I'm like, this is not the first football player to be on the show. But anyway, this is not about football and Steve. Um, Guy's gonna start a band because Gregory out here making songs. I think Damon know how to play the drums. Dr. Scott be rapping. Listen, put it all together, and I forgot what they said. Let's call it the 76 or the 67. I don't know. The 70s, the old asses. Okay, so Damon versus Greg. Dr. Gregory versus Dr. Damon. Jeez, oh peas. Dr. Damon is a Neanderthal. Is that the word? I understand, right? Okay. They both felt disrespected, okay? You disrespect me, I disrespect you, okay? So how would Damon feel if, Sweet Tea went on the internet and said that, oh, he was the worst doctor and he was a PD and he, PD, PF, P Lyle, one of those, abuse. What if she said these things about you? How would you feel? Well, I could care less. I mean, I don't care. People say all types of stuff about me. They be saying that I be cheating and stuff. So, whatever. And, Dr. Greg, I was mad at you because you know my character. And they tried to say I was a cheater. And you was a coward. You didn't even say nothing. You didn't have my back and stick up for me because you know me, man. You know my character. I can't believe you. Oh, goodness gracious. Had to crack myself up because Damon, for real. So they was going back and forth a little bit with this because it was like, Damon calling Gregory sensitive. And so Greg turned it back on him, was like, well, you being sensitive about being called a cheater. Well, yeah, man, I'm not sensitive, but I'm just mad because I'm not a cheater and you guys are just, you didn't have my back, how you be talking, right? So in this, it rolls into the medical business side because, yeah, we are both doctors here. We can lose our license to practice. When we lose our license to practice, that means we lost our job, which means we lost our livelihood, which means we can't work and feed our families. So why would you think that I'd be okay with anybody saying those type of things on it? Look, on the internet, for one, where it's gonna stay forever for people to look and read and like that. So of course, it was Dr. Scott chimed in a bit, Eugene, because they are doctors as well. So right, that part, you don't mess up the money. Okay, we never mess up the money. Which, okay, so besides being called a cheater and not being stuck up for, Damon mad about that part as well. So you see how this goes? How Damon, he mad about the same thing that Greg is mad about, but he don't want, but he wants Gregory. Is it to handle it the same way that he would, or to not take it as rough as he would, or to? Is this not weird, y'all? Because they doing the same exact thing to each other. You mad at me for this, So I think this is where it kind of clicked off in the head for Gregory to say, "Well, bitch, I'm arguing with you for nothing." So he pretty much kind of lets Greg have it at this point. Like, man, listen, you can have it at this point because I, like, I can't argue with you no more if this the stance you're gonna take. Yeah, so Damien, you thinking Greg all in his feelings, but technically you in your feelings too, right? Because you're not a cheater and You was mad that he turned the patients away from the practice, okay? And I can't remember what kind of doctor that Damon is. I can't remember. I think he was is he a chiropractor or what kind of doctor is Dr. Damon? I can't remember. But either way, he was sending patients over to Gregory. Like we could send each other people's recommendations, referrals, right? But Damon or Greg was turning them away, right? So we kind of click back and forth right here a little bit, okay? Because the women is in the back watching. So we're seeing the women's reaction to some of this. Of course, Heavenly, oh my man, oh he got it. That's a man right there. You see, oh he got it. That's what he do. He's supposed to do. He stand up for his wife and this and that. Speak the truth. Yes, woo, daddy, yes, because that's her daddy. Then T's over there like, oh gosh, shut up, Heavenly. Jeez, oh peas, you were just the worst. Can you be quiet? And that. Girl, you shut up. Nobody talking to you. This was that. And Toya, yeah, co-signing Heavenly because, oh, look at the man is sticking up for this. And, oh, yeah, Eugene, you right. And then, because they don't nobody like Sweet Tea right now in this moment. So while they going back and forth a little bit, we clicking back to the men because they're still trying to figure out their thing going on, talking about the patients and this and that. So Greg explains himself to say that, listen, I was turning them away because some of them just had some real problems, some real tough issues. He mentioned like addiction, this and that. He was trying to go into it, but either way, I didn't have the bandwidth to handle all the people you were sending my way. Okay. I was full. I was busy. And some of it just wasn't on my radar, in my peripheral, in my profession, whatever, excuse, words. But that's why. It wasn't because I was mad at you or, like that. Okay. So, of course, Andy is trying to be the reason here to say, well, did you ever reach out to him and try to explain that to him? I said, yeah, I called him, I talked to him, and I told him that. Of course, Damon's like, no, you didn't, man. I don't lie, man. And integrity is important, man, because this is my character. You know me, man. You defame my character, dude. And of course, Gregory had to laugh a little bit. And hey, there's nothing funny here. I mean, come on, Mom. So Steve speaks up a little bit. I think Curtis spoke up a little bit. Cecil might have said something a little bit just to try to help him out. And Damon just came to this conclusion that, look, I don't want to fight with you, man. I can forgive you because God told us to forgive, and I can forgive you because, we're friends. And, I just want to move on, man. This is crazy. So Greg is like, look, I'm sorry. It is what it is. I feel like Gregory's probably already been done with this argument. Because like I said, he was beating the dead horse. This Damon character, him and his wife, I swear they're archaic. They live in 1922. And I'm talking white people, 1922. Woo! So, how do we feel about the exes being together? And this was a question to Eugene because I feel like throughout the whole season, it was him. Out of all the other men, it was only him who was the main one trying to keep the group together. Everybody else was kind of not caring or just didn't want to say nothing. Like I said, Scott was just quiet the whole time. I'm not sure what's going on with him. Even though they was friends of him and Contessa, but I just feel like, yeah, he was just quiet a lot. Cecil, yeah, you was quiet. He was quiet a lot. They all was just quiet. Nobody was talking to each other. I didn't understand that. But having Greg and Quad together was something that they knew was not going to be easy. Okay, so I must have not have took notes on that last part because we was getting into the question about Quad boosting King up. Okay. So with this, we flip back to the ladies. Okay. Because we mentioning Quad, so she listening, everybody listening. So, she got a little response. She basically just says it. Like, listen. You guys bought sweet tea on here to get at me. That's what y'all did, and it didn't work. Simone getting loud with her, like, girl, I don't know who you think you is or who you think you talk to, but he was not gonna do this today. And they standing up now, and it's F you and F you and this and that. You ain't my friend, and I don't trust you, and I don't like you, and this and this. Yes, because we got it. It's all out now. They've been trying to get rid of Quad since Mariah left. Okay, because they were a package deal. It was Mariah and Quad. They were friends. You two were friends on the show. We wasn't feeling Mariah like that, nor was we feeling Quad like that. We was trying to get them both kicked off at the same time because we thought that was gonna work. But people like Quad. She was a fan favorite, which means you can't kick off the fan favorite. As much as you don't like them, if the people who watching like them, they have to stay because it keeps the show going. It keeps them getting the ratings. The shows need ratings is how they make their monies and stuff, and keep the show. Because if nobody's watching, then we got to cancel and things like that, right? But people was loving the girl, loving the twirl. I mean, we was loving Mariah too, but I guess not as much. I don't know. I rather would have kept Mariah over Quad because I prefer Mariah's theatrics, and her theatrics come with the money spin. Okay, so it's a little bit different. Okay, but yeah, they're going back and forth. I don't know why I didn't take notes on this because I was just watching because I was so in awe and just happy that it just broke free. Like, yes, finally Simone admits, bitch, I never liked your. Well, listen. She didn't say these exact words, but we know she never was liking her from the jump. Like from the gate. Because you married to Medicine, my love. And now you're not married to Medicine. And you don't belong here. So I need you to go. But if you ain't gonna go, you're gonna have to see these teeths. Because Simone. You're gonna have to see this overbite come at you every little chance that I get. And that's where we left off on a cliffhanger because we had to pull them back. We don't know if somebody gonna hit each other or they not gonna hit each other because they got close. Okay. But I can't wait till to get to the next episode to where we actually calm down a bit and we can sit down and then we can go and explain ourselves from here and let them all explain themselves from here. They Quad, okay, we never liked you. Or at least Simone can just raise her hand finally say, girl, I never liked you. I don't want your ass to be gone. Please take your honorary ass on because you think you're up here and bitch, we only see you down here. You ain't up here with me. You're down here. You ain't nothing, child. You're nothing. Listen, let me stop because this is going on longer than it has to be, okay? But like I said, this Married to Medicine, I knew it. I knew it for them to make it into 3. They threw in a couple bullshit there. You see that stupid stuff with the Botox and Scott and this and me. That was all bullshit just to get to the shit. Okay, so we gonna get to the next episode, part 3 of the reunion. Let Quad have it. Now let me stop because I sound like I'm against Quad or something. I'm not against the girl. She not my favorite on the show. If we have to pick favorites, it is Simone. Say it is Simone, child. I'm sorry, but that's only because she remind me of my mama. If she ain't remind me of my mama, she wouldn't be my favorite. But either way, let me get off here because this was long. Bye. If y'all watched it, please, I love you. Thank you.